So, welcome to Vespers and Lullabies, our second time doing this new program. And I'm sorry, I gotta get my screen. Okay. If you have a candle, I suggest that you light it. And that if you don't have a candle, I've got one right behind me on my little altar. It's a little hard to see, but there is a candle burning just for all of us, the collective candle. And maybe if you want to, just hold your candle up to the screen for a moment. We can all kind of raise our candles in a little moment of invoking, maybe an invocation of the deep spirit of connection, the deep spirit of compassion and care, the deep spirit of courage and persistence and perseverance, and the deep, deep spirit of love that moves through our lives. So we honor that with this candle, and anything else you honor with your candle, you just put your heart right into it. Okay, I'm going to actually put the lyrics to this song up. This is, I think, going to be kind of the theme song for Vespers and Lullabies. All right. So this is a song I wrote a few weeks ago, just for this kind of an evening. So why don't I sing it once, the first part, and then you sing it with me. Evening falls, the day is ending. All my work, I lay it down. Let it rest until tomorrow. Day is done. Lay it down. Let's try that. Evening falls. Evening falls. The day is ending. All my work, I lay it down. Let it rest until tomorrow. Day is done. Lay it down. Now just listen. Lay it down, your every burden. Evening shadows gather round. Come sweet night and gentle darkness. Day is done. Lay it down. Let it rest. Lay it down. So let's try that second half. Lay it down, your every burden. Evening shadows gather round. Come sweet night and gentle darkness. Day is done. Lay it down. Okay, now I'm going to stop the share because you've gotten a taste of the words, and I'll help you sing it again. Here we go. Evening falls, the day is ending. Evening falls, the day is ending. All my work, I lay it down. All my work, I lay it down. Let it rest until tomorrow. Let it rest until tomorrow. Day is done. Lay it down. Lay it down, your every burden. Lay it down, your every burden. Evening shadows gather round. Evening shadows gather round. Come sweet night and gentle darkness. Come sweet night and gentle darkness. Day is done. Lay it down. Let it rest one sweet night and gentle darkness, day is done, lay it down, let it rest, let it down. It's a nice invitation, isn't it? Kind of just what I want somebody to say to me at the end of the day is just lay their hand on my forehead like my dad used to do and just say, honey, it's over. Lay it down. It's done. So again, welcome. Thank you. I just love that you want to be here. I love that you want to end your day this way, even though we're on the West Coast and it's not really over. But it could be. It could be. This could be the end right here. Vespers is a word that comes from the Latin, and it means evening star. And and so Venus is related to that. In the Catholic Church, there's a series of prayers that are done throughout the day for practicing monks and nuns and perhaps lay people as well. The morning one I think is called Matins, that's Latin for morning. And Vespers is one of the evening times. And it's a time of just prayerful presence and worship of some kind. And when I grew up, I was not Catholic, and I didn't really know that it was religious even. I just knew that when we went to family summer camps with our church, or even like Girl Scout camps or something, they'd have this thing in the dusk that was called Vespers, and you'd all sit out on a hillside and hopefully contemplate a body of water somewhere. I know in Seattle, Liz from Seattle, that we do that at our summer CBEC conference. Anyway, it's just a very, very sweet time. But it also has a lot of Christian resonances, and I think it's not a word that really rings deep or even invitingly to people who weren't raised Christian and are not, wanting to practice that tradition. So I'm actually going to change the name just in the spirit of full inclusion, and really wanting everyone to know that this is for all of us, and it's not religious. So I'll figure something else out that'll be sweet. So my theme tonight is from a poem that I heard at a wonderful Buddhist meditation retreat that I just did last weekend. Yeah, last weekend. 4 days at home. Meditation was the best. It was really awesome. And this wonderful teacher from Seattle named Tuere Sala read this poem by Annie Lightheart. So it's called The Second Music. Now I understand that there are two melodies playing, one below the other, one easier to hear, the other lower, steady, perhaps more faithful for being less heard, but always present. When all other things seem lively and real, this one fades, yet the notes of it touch as gently as fingertips, as the sound of the names laid over each child at birth. I want to stay in that music without striving or cover. If the truth of our lives is what is playing, then the telling is so soft that this mortal time, this irrevocable change, becomes beautiful. I stop and stop again to hear the second music. I hear the children in the yard, a train, then birds. All this is in it and will be gone. I set my ear to it as I would to a heart. I want to stay in that music without striving or cover. If the truth of our lives is what is playing, the telling is so soft that this mortal time, this irrevocable change, becomes beautiful. I stop and stop again to hear the second music. I hear the children in the yard, a train, then birds. All this is in it and will be gone. I set my ear to it as I would to a heart. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Sing that with me. Let me get the words up for me. They're so easy, I'm not going to put them up for you, but let me just get my words. With me, please. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Here's the next part. Love upon love upon love. All hearts are beating as one. Just sing that with me. Love upon love. Love upon love upon love. All hearts are beating as one. And then light upon light upon light. All disappear into one. Here we go. Light upon light upon light. All disappear. All disappear into one. Let the way. Let the way of the heart. Let the way of the heart. Let the way of the heart shine through. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Love upon love. Love upon love upon love. All hearts are beating as one. Light, light upon light upon light. All disappear into one. So as we sing this, close your eyes if you want to, or lower your eyes, kind of go inward a bit more if you haven't already. And as you sing, notice not so much the sound emerging from your mouth, but the vibrations in your chest or in your face or in your throat. The words are very powerful, and they're resonating. They're resonating inside of us, so that this literally becomes a heart awakening if we sing with our whole body. So go inside and sing from way down deep within and feel it. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Love upon love, Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. So right from there, I'd like to just take a minute to invite us into a little bit of a mindful visit to the second music inside of us. I just love that, this idea. I'm a trained musician. I learned to play Bach fugues as a kid, and I very much appreciate two musical lines that go along both together and apart, and somehow are important to each other. They feed each other. Neither one on its own would be all that beautiful. And so thinking about what is the second music in my life? What is the second music in your life, right? The one that's sort of underneath. She says, lower, steady, perhaps more faithful for being less heard, yet always present. Yeah. Yeah. So, in whatever way feels comfortable to you, just kind of let yourself be in a posture where you're relaxed but alert, you're upright, or you're lying down, that's fine too, but able to breathe and able to focus. And we'll just begin by taking a couple of deep breaths. Singing sort of makes that necessary, so you've probably been taking some really good deep breaths. But really feel how your chest and your belly can expand with the breath, not forcing it, but just letting yourself open. Just open. Like an instrument. There are instruments like accordions where the air opens and closes the bellows, and that's what makes the sound. So we're kind of like that. And you can sigh, you can just let that breath out with some sound in your throat, whatever feels comfortable, just vibrating your throat a little bit. Ah. And then draw your attention to your listening, to your ears, and let the sounds that are in your environment visit your listening. See what you hear. You don't have to go reaching for it, just it'll come. If you just pay attention to listening, you'll hear. Perhaps cars, perhaps human voices, perhaps just the hum of your house with its electricity. And then bring your attention away from your hearing and bring it inward as we did in the song, kind of down inside, just sensing the sensations of breathing, the very subtle rhythm of your heartbeat, your pulse. There's a lot of motion inside our bodies. Organs are contracting and expanding, fluids are shifting. Blood, of course, is flowing, air is flowing. So just kind of see what it's like to feel you from the inside. You might even, notice some energetic sensations like, tingling maybe, or a little bit of just a sense of aliveness. Let the rhythm of your breath be part of the music of your body. pulsing, expanding, contracting. Let the way of the heart shine through. And there's a listening that is that listening to what does my heart say? What does my heart know about the second music in my life? You can just drop that little question into your inner listening and let it ripple. What does my heart know about my second music? Oh, and then you can gently return to the group, all of us here together. I'm just taking a look at you all because it's such a pleasure. So I want to sing you a song that Craig actually reminded me of last week that I wrote after my dad died in 2011, and he was the first person that I ever accompanied through the passage out of this world. He was a man of many words. My dad, as you know, was a preacher. He loved literature. He loved to talk. He was a friend of mine in high school who came over for dinner, said afterwards, "Your dad is the most interesting windbag I've ever heard." And that was him. He talked too much, but most of it was pretty darn interesting. But as the end was approaching, the words got fewer, and they got more distilled, and they got more precious. So in honor of that passage we all will pass through, and what I learned from my dad about it's really quite simple being with someone who's going through that. It's not easy, but it's very simple. So this song is called Simple Love. When the words fail, will you hold my hand? It's all I need. It's what I understand. When the night comes, will you stay with me? It's all I need to help me go to sleep. Oh, simple, simple love, it's all that's left of us when everything has turned to dust. I'll put my trust in simple, simple love. When the end comes, will you breathe with me? It's all I need, just your quiet company. When I'm gone from here, will you still sing my song? Will you carry on? with the music in your heart. Oh, simple, simple love, hold me one more time, though I am leaving you behind. I leave enough of simple, simple love. Though everything must turn to dust, we still can trust in simple, simple love. So part of the second music for me, I think for all of us, is all the ways we communicate without words. The music of touch. Last week our whole evening was on touch. It was so much fun with everybody's stuffed animals and singing I Want a Hug and hugging ourselves, and the language of love. So this is called Vespers and Lullabies, so I owe it to you to sing at least one lullaby, hey? And this is one that I think a lot of you probably know. We grew up singing it in our family. We came from a really singing family. And throughout our whole lives, from childhood on till the day our parents died, we were singing. And this is one of our favorites, and I remember singing this so many times when my dad was failing, and my mom too. Down in the valley, down in the valley so low, hang your head over, hear the wind blow, hear the wind blow, hear the wind blow, dear, hear the wind blow, hang your head over, hear the wind blow. Roses love sunshine, roses love sunshine, violets love dew, violets love dew, angels in heaven, angels in heaven, know I love you, know I love you, know I love you, dear, know I love you, dear, know I love you, angels in heaven, know I love you. Build me a castle 40 feet high, 40 feet high, so I can see you as I ride by, as I ride by, as I ride by, as I ride by, dear, as I ride by, so I can see you as I ride by. Write me a letter, send it by mail, send it in care of Birmingham Jail. Write me a letter, send it by mail, send it in care, send it in care of Birmingham Jail, Birmingham Jail, dear, Birmingham Jail, send it in care of Birmingham Jail. Down in the valley, sing it out. Down in the valley so low, hang your head over, So raise your hand if you were familiar with that song. I'm curious, because what I know is not what everybody knows. We didn't all grow up in the same culture. Who knew? Again, keep those hands up because I have to scroll through the gallery. So a great many of you do, you know. I was raised in some pretty white bread areas, like, for example, Salem, Oregon, probably the whitest state in the country, and the history of some of the most racist Western countries, anyway. Rock Springs, Wyoming, pretty straight ahead there, pretty Christian white. So it's just always a good reminder to me that we share a lot of things. The heart's beating as one, but we also have these wonderful diversities of traditions, and I just honor that so much. Ari Wolf, you lived in Salem? No way. That's amazing. Okay, so I know it's getting time, but I promised. Oh God, I'm forgetting your name. Who wrote me today about the song? Oh, I'm so sorry. It's been a long day. Charles, maybe? Anyway, you know who you are. The wonderful minister who asked if he could sing this song. So I said I would sing it tonight, so I'm going to do it right now. And this again is a song about the second music and how the earth holds the music that we need when we get lost, as we do. So this is from an ancient hymn tune. I think it's an Scottish hymn tune that I rewrote. Earth moves in a mysterious way, her wonders to unfold. She fashions beauty out of clay, like straw spun into gold. She holds us all within her breath and folds us in her grace. We cling like children to her breast, this glowing jewel in space. I lose her face 1,000 times in crowded streets of fear. But when I gaze at starry skies, I see her shining clear. I lose her voice amidst the din and clamor all around. But when I listen to the wind, I hear her sacred sound. Surrounded by a phantom host of dangers and desires, I long for her simplicity, her slow and steady fires. And though this human enterprise seems poised between hope and hell, earth circles in her endless dance and whispers, all is well. Earth moves in a mysterious way, her wonders to perform. She fashions beauty out of clay, our mother and our home. And just a couple of little readings very short that song connects with for me. One is from the Bible. It's from Isaiah, the prophet Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 26. And it says, "Look at the night skies. Look at the night skies. Who do you think made all this? Who marches this army of stars out each night, counts them off, calls each by name, so magnificent, so powerful, and never overlooks a single one?" And then Wendell Berry, the wonderful farmer poet, writes, oh, here it is, very short. It's kind of a haiku almost. "In the dark of the moon, in flying snow, in the dead of winter, war spreading, families dying, the world in danger, I walk the rocky hillside, sowing clover. In the dark of the moon, in flying snow, in the dead of winter, war spreading, families dying, the world in danger, I walk the rocky hillside, sowing clover." And lastly, I meant to do this earlier, but a wonderful participant in our circle, Kyla Crescenta, sent this to me. I had asked people to send poems, and you did. You sure did. Thank you. Please keep it up. And this one is so perfect for this moment of earth reverence. "Earth Mother, Star Mother, you who are called by 10,000 names, may all remember we are cells in your body and dance together. You are the grain and the loaf that sustains us each day. And as you are patient with our struggles to learn, so shall we be patient with ourselves and with each other. You are radiant light and sacred dark, the balance. You are the embrace that heartens and the freedom beyond fear. Within you, we are born, we grow, live, and die. You bring us around the circle to rebirth. Within us, you dance forever. Within us, you dance forever." So, we are reaching the end here. I want to just, just say thank you and see you next week for a full session of No Better Time to Sing. I will send you all the poems, as I always do, after the evening. And donations are extremely warmly accepted. It's, as many of you know, I'm sharing your donations with women in Kenya that I've been connected to in very deep and beautiful ways, and who are struggling, as you know, we all struggle in our own way, and they are struggling in a country that has severe COVID, and they started with a very little economic base, the women that I'm in touch with, so it's a tough time. And we've made a big difference. Your generosity has made such a difference. So in your invitation, there was a donation button. In every follow-up, I think there's a donation button, and there will be one again when I send you the follow-up tomorrow. So I appreciate it if you can. I know these are tough times, so just do what you can, or just show up here and give me your shining face, and that's more than enough. So let's see. I guess maybe we'll do a few closing words from you and then sing our closing lullaby. So we are going over a little bit. I warned people last week. I'm terrible at time management, so I drift over a little, about five minutes or so. But if a few people would just like to say a word of blessing to each other, a word of farewell, or of something you're taking from the evening. I know we all came in a particular mind state. Undeniably, we are leaving in a different mind state. That's a guarantee. Music, it guarantees us that. So, Ed, yes, please unmute and speak. Can you unmute, Ed? There you go.
Thank
So you're unmuted. Did you want to say something? Okay. All right. Is there anyone else who'd like to say a word?
Uh, this is Linda.
Linda, go ahead.
Tonight was so deep and so special for me. Last Wednesday night, I sat with my friend Nancy and held her hand. We knew she would be crossing over soon. She lived with her son. But I sang hymns with her from YouTube because I didn't know how else to sing to her. But and then I ended with Cat Stevens, How Can I Tell You That I Love You? But
Oh,
tonight feels like the closing ceremony. She crossed over Friday morning,
oh,
but I just feel that time with her was precious. And this time tonight just filled me and soothed me. And it was such a loving, loving evening. Thank you.
thank you, Linda. Thank you so much. And holding your friend and you in our hearts. I'm glad you shared that. Anyone else? Maybe one more person like to?
I wanted to say,
Yeah, please.
this is Craig.
Yeah,
Can you,
go ahead.
can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Um, your story about your dad evoked um, something I wanted to share with you in the group here. Um, my dad was raised a traditional man, born in 1918, and um, it did not show much tangible expression of emotional uh, feeling towards me, like a lot of men were trained to do. But when he got older, he would cry more, and a little bit more emotional. And then in his passing, the last I was at his bedside, and kind of like what you were saying with simple, simple love, words came hard and short. And so when I would come over to visit once every couple of weeks, he would reach for my hand and he would just stroke from my forearm down my fingers, and he would just say, "You're a good man." And those are the last words I remember him saying to me.
Oh, thank
So
you, Chris.
I deeply resonate. And the last thing I want to say real quick is, and I said this in the chat, I really long for these sweet, slower songs. You know, so many of the songs we hear out there are fast paced and they have wonderful lyrics, but they're going along really fast. And it's really easier for me to take them in, like you were encouraging us to do. So I really appreciate that slowness.
Wonderful. Thank you. I feel like your father.
Thank you, Craig.
Yeah, I feel like your father's last words were sort of kind of sometimes it's the word a child's been waiting their whole life to hear in a way, you know. Anyway, Craig, that was lovely.
Thank you.
Oh gosh.
Betsy, may
Yes, please, Tina.
I? I just want to say thank you. I watched all of John Lewis's funeral this morning from start to finish, and it feels like such a fitting bookend to this day to have sung about down in the valley in the Birmingham jail. I didn't actually know that verse. I always just kind of knew down in the valley. And so it just felt really appropriate, and to spend quiet. Thank you, Craig. I'm in total agreement with you. Just quiet time in music and in self and in breath, and in the beauty of the simple love that you portray and give to us so beautifully and so well. It just feels like a really fitting end to what has been a really incredible and very difficult day.
Mm-hmm. Wow, Tina, I'm really glad you spoke that. And someone else emailed me, Shari emailed me about wanting to honor John Lewis tonight. And I'm so glad you reminded me. We honored him last week at the last Thursday, and we sang We Shall Not Be Moved as a tribute to his march on the bridge at Selma and so much more. But I'm so glad you got to witness what you witnessed today. And wow, so here we are. So we're holding John Lewis. We're holding so many people who have been so courageous and have suffered for it. So many.
Do you have time for one more?
Yeah, real quick, sure.
When you sang about your father, if you can see this lit up, my dog passed and her ashes came back yesterday. And so this is sort of lit. But yeah.
Oh.
And I got to hold her paw while she crossed over. It was so peaceful. And I kept singing that song, I Send My Love.
And I want you to know there's at least one other woman in this room tonight who shares your story, who lost her beloved dog recently. And
So I'll keep it brief, but thank you. That was a fitting full circle. Thank you.
Thank you, my friends. I hate to cut this short. This is really delicious, but I know some of you were expecting it to end at 6:45, and I want to be a little bit accountable here. But I noticed last week what happened was that we closed the evening, and then a bunch of people stayed, and we really chatted for 10, 15 minutes. So if you feel chatty, just hang around. I've got nowhere to go. But I do want to just end in song, and I want to end with a benediction because that's sort of, again, the tradition I was raised in. And I just have to find it. It's a beautiful benediction from a theologian named William Sloane Coffin. Oh, and Dolores, I meant to dedicate Down in the Valley to you on your 92nd birthday.
Oh.
So here it is, after the fact, belatedly, happy birthday, Dolores. Why don't you unmute for a minute, so your family unmute for a minute and say something so we can all look at you. We won't see you if you're not talking. Can you do that? Are you still here? Maybe they left. Well, that would be sad if they left. It would feel really bad.
Hello. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely. Please talk some more. Say some more.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the song. I love it.
Well, oh, there you are. Wonderful. Hi. Oh, good to see you. Yeah. Well, happy birthday. And may you have many more. Long life and long health.
Thank you so much.
Okay, folks. So I think a fitting closing tonight, just because we're so short on time, would be just another round of Down in the Valley, especially for Dolores, but also just to honor the long traditions that we come from, whether we're singing We Shall Overcome or Down in the Valley or Tumalalaika or, there's so many wonderful songs that root us in where we come from, who we belong to, who made us who we are. And boy, it's worth celebrating. So thank you. I'll see you next week, hopefully. Down in the valley so low, hang your head over, hear the wind blow, hear the wind blow, dear, hear the wind blow, hang your head over, hear the wind blow. Oh, and I've just found the benediction. Bear with me. Here it is. May you be given the grace never to sell yourself short, grace to risk something big for something good, and grace to remember the world is now too dangerous for anything but truth and too small for anything but love. Go in peace. Bless you. Thank you. And feel free to unmute.